Hello and welcome to another episode of Hedgehog Makes. My name is Austin, aka Zombie Hedgehog, and today we have this. This is the Bambu A1 combo. And although this was released back in 2013 with a bit of a rough start, I'll add that, this is still my favorite printer to recommend in 2025. I've been using one for a long time, and I absolutely love it. It is definitely one of my favorite printers, if not my favorite printer. They say 2013, 2023. I cannot do math apparently. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I am streaming this live on Twitch, so down in the description I will have a link to where you can watch these live. But while you're down there, make sure you hit that like button right away. Just go ahead and like the video. Subscribe if you're not for whatever reason. And I will have links to where you can purchase everything listed or talked about in this video down in the description. So many things. I do have a tuned profile for this printer available in the description as well. That's available on my Patreon. I've had great success with that. So thank you all for watching. And we have a raid already from Vile Mods. Welcome in. We are recording attempting to take this printer out of the box. We're recording a session for YouTube on the A1. So if anyone is kind of looking to get into 3D printing or upgrade their 3D printer and they really don't know where to begin, I just recommend an A1, right? It's the easiest printer to recommend because it is at least as big as some of the more popular printers like Ender 3s and Prusa's, all those printers like that. It is at least as big, if not bigger. And I'll talk about the build size a little bit more. I'm just trying to figure out how the heck to get this thing out of the box. I can't unbox this printer. Help me. But Vile Mods, how are you doing? If you do not know who the heck Vile Mods is and you're watching on YouTube, he is an awesome, epic Nerf blaster and other blaster modders. He mods them and upgrades them. It does some really, really interesting integrations and all these fancy terms for saying he does a lot of drumming and gluing and some 3D design. So check him out on YouTube. Sorry, Twitch, not YouTube. Too many platforms. Jeez, don't get a cramp. I know. Supposedly, you're supposed to be able to pull this out, but apparently not mine. So in the box, we have a quick start guide. Oh, stickers. That's pretty sick. So keep these stickers. These right here. You'll actually need these for an upcoming set of files from Bambu. So all of the cyber bricks, Bambu's RC car platform / RC platform, they are, a lot of people are taking the stickers into consideration. So if you get the new stickers, then there you go. Free premium models with Maker World. That's pretty cool. Yeah, those are cool stickers. I like stickers. They're neat. I really do. So we get a build plate in the box too. This is their basic PEI sheet that they're including with everything now. Texture PEI is probably the overall best. I do prefer the Big Tree Tech Glacier plates. Those have been my kind of go-to recently for pretty much everything that I print. I'm even using them on my Trident because they have the best overall adhesion, but texture PEI, pretty good. No complaints with that. I will put this off to the side for now. Okay. Lots of stuff here because this is the combo version. I do recommend if you're going to get one of these A1 printers, get the combo version. Seriously, just get the combo. If you don't think you're going to print multicolor, you're wrong. You are definitely going to print multicolor. Even if it's functional, you can do functional prints that have multicolor added to them. K2 Kevin likes to add logos and things into his design, and seriously, adding a little bit of a color swap on a organizer can add a ton of flair and pizzazz. Labels, yeah, labels for sure. That's an instant use for multicolor. So just get it. It also makes loading filament so much easier. The stock process for loading filament onto these machines is very basic, right? It reminds me of olden style printers like the Mark IV, where you have to like sit there and wait for the filament to extrude. I don't like doing that. So I like having the AMS as an option. All right. We have some stuff here. It's our power cable, fancy swatches, our poop ejector mechanism, empty. Ooh, we have a piano music box as our free toy. Piano music box. Cool. Wonder what it sounds like. I don't know, we'll open this up later. We have a box of miscellaneous things. Pretty fun that Bambu includes like a little project, and they're all different. Sometimes they're mice, sometimes they're pianos, but they include a little bit of something to go with your printer. Now the A1s, unfortunately, do not come with a spool of filament. I don't even know if they come with filament, but it makes sense. Yeah, they include like this essentially throwaway little bit of, hey, make sure your printer works filament, which I never used. I don't think it's even worth trying to use it. Just buy a spool of filament. You're 3D printing. Just get yourself a spool of Hedgehog Makes Galaxy Red PLA. Available now on Amazon. If you like Amazon, just type in Galaxy Red PLA and you'll find it. Or type in Hedgehog Makes. It's also available under the Creator Spools on Polymaker's website. I'll have a link down in the description. That is the best red filament ever. And I actually printed my AMS adapter parts in that filament. I'll show you guys that in a minute here. But let me get this box out of the way because it is in the way. Big box for a reasonable size printer. All right, what do we have here? Probably best to follow the instructions. I don't remember the full assembly process for this, so we'll have to check out the instructions. Now, I will say, overall, yes, this is my favorite printer. I think that they did a phenomenal job of designing this. The frame, extremely rigid. I don't know if they could have really made it any better. Like, there's no weakness that I can see in the frame design. It's very, very well constructed. All of the moving parts are kind of inside this, what do you call it, pillar. So you have the lead screws and the linear rails, I believe they're using on the inside of here. It's extremely stiff. It feels good. It looks good. It's just a lot better than the standard 2020 style extrusion based printers or the single sheet style printers, the old i3 style ones. I think this is just a really good way to go. I've had a great time with mine personally. And they even have a singular motor down here. I can't really show this too well, but they have a little motor here that drives a belt synced Z. So they managed to squeeze in the bottom there a belt sync Z. I mean, come on, that does not get much better. It turns out Bambu actually knows how to design printers for longevity. We'll say that. Now, are they the most maintainable and upgradable? No, not at all. But by the time you end up running this thing into the ground where it's physically unable to move, that's probably going to be many, many, many years after the printer has been in use and far past its life expectancy. That's the only thing that I'd really like to see more of going forward, is just having every single part being able to be replaced. And I think this one is better than let's say the X1 or P1, but even then there's still parts in here that are pretty custom. So let's try to find the manual before I start going too much further. This is the assembly guide. We'll try to get through it pretty quick. I want to get this up and working on stream. Remove packaging. I'm already starting to do that. All right, let's see. Yes, so that's a great question. Bambu did recall this printer. At the very beginning of the launch, there was an issue. They had incorrectly spec'd their cable for the bed, and under arguably very rare circumstances, it was bending and breaking and causing issues, right? You don't want your heater cable causing a short, which could lead to a fire, sparking, stuff like that. So they relatively quickly, they probably could have been a little quicker on the response, but it is what it is. They decided to recall this printer. So they gave everyone an option to just get this printer, the bed replaced. And I think overall it's been pretty good. I haven't really heard any complaints of people not getting their upgrades or not getting a new printer. I think they handled it at the end very well. And I haven't heard a single issue with anyone having issues with this cord. I haven't seen it. So pretty good. They added a little tag saying avoid excessive bending and dragging. So giving a little bit of a heads up and say, hey, just be careful with this thing. But yeah, my new one, or my A1, was after the recall, so it has the fixed cable, and that's been working great. That was a while ago, and I still very, very, very firmly recommend this printer. Back at launch in 2023, media outlets deemed this the best printer of the year, even though it was released like at the end of the year. And honestly, it is that good. It is quite literally that good. Build plate. Install build plate. They want to put the build plate on before the rest of the printer. Seems kind of odd, but okay. Then we have to put the base into the frame right here. You're still using the original bed. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you probably should replace it, right? But you don't have to replace it. You probably should, and I would recommend replacing it. Given some of the issues we've seen with some random printers catching on fire, burning down houses, I'd rather just be safe than sorry. Like, I don't want anyone that I know to be a statistic. Not at all. Let's look at some more stuff to remove here. And I'm seeing that we have this. This is screwed in here. So they actually do a really cool job of locking down this axis with screwed in plastic pieces. So you can, in shipping, this thing ain't going nowhere. And that's a really, really smart idea. But do we have to remove it? I think so. We'll just go ahead and remove it. It is not needed. Let's see what they give you for parts too. I don't think they give you the little nice handled Allen keys anymore. That's unfortunate. I really like those. But that's okay, because I typically use my own. Fine. I'll use my own. I have some for Frico drivers. I think that's a 2. So I've been using my A1 for quite a while now. I don't know how many hours I have on it. I could probably figure that out. Let's see. I don't use it a ton, to be honest, because I use my X1 and P1 more. But when I need to use it, it's always a really good option. Let's see. Device. 839 hours, so just shy of 1,000. And typically, my random metric is 1,000 hours before you can give a proper review on a printer. But I'd say it's close enough. Checked yours last week. You have 6,200 hours on it. Damn. Yeah, that's pretty good. I've seen users with tons of hours in their A1s too. So, personally, I don't use it a ton because I typically don't need to. What I do is I have my tier of easiest to load printers. So like the standard AMS on these style of printers, the X1 P1, those are the easiest to generally use, and they are slightly faster in the grand scheme of things. But this one is what I go to when I want really good print quality. For whatever reason, whether it be the linear rails, the extruder design, this printer prints better than an X1 or P1. It actually does. And it's kind of shocking to hear. It's kind of hard to believe, but you got to trust me. This printer here has less artifacts due to the Core XY motion system. That is just, it's really good. Trust me, it's good. And I can show you some prints I've done off of it, but you know, it's just, I can't say perfect, not perfect, but really, really good. Really good. Yeah, traditional Core XY design like the P1 X1. They have long belts with tons of bearings, and they have those carbon rods, which I don't think is doing anything good for the system. And all that combined, it tends to add more printing artifacts such as VFAs and other minor issues to your print. Very minor, but they're noticeable, right? On this type of printer, where every single motor and motion system is separate, I find that bed slingers generally have better quality than Core XY printers. I know it's not what you would expect, but I'm starting to really believe that after my experiences. Now, you can make a Core XY printer that prints perfect with no artifact, but the off-the-shelf ones right now, generally not. Generally. Okay, we need to pull the bed forward and then remove this plate here. You have 4,200 hours on your A1. I have a lot of hours on my A1 minis. I've used those for a lot because I had that before the A1. It's a relatively newer printer to me compared to the other ones. But personally, I've gotten, I'm not afraid to admit this, but I've gotten very lazy when it comes to the way that the AMS, oh wait, to install screws. The way the AMS operates, you know, you throw a spool in and you kind of feed it through a little bit and then you're good. That's become very, 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 very easy to operate, and therefore my go-to, just need to print something real quick, printer. But the A1 with the AMS Lite, it's not far behind, really isn't. So for a budget printer, this thing absolutely like knocks any other printer in the same price point out of the water, in my opinion. Under like the $500 mark, at least what I've tested personally, and if any other companies are watching this, I probably haven't tried your printer. But, you know, let's take some comparisons that I have tried. The FlashForge AD5M, that's a very competent printer, and a lot of people have them and love them. But they're only 220 millimeters, so they're Ender 3 sized. And that's kind of a bummer, because I just wish it was a little bit bigger. They print great, but they're a little small. And while this thing right here is a bed slinger, it prints bigger and almost as fast. as some of these other Core XY printers. Surprisingly, they do. So I will mention build volume right now. If you've never used or really looked into an A1, this printer has a bigger build volume than the X1 or P1, because on an X1, there is what you call an exclusion zone at the very front. At the front right corner or left corner, there is a filament cutter exclusion zone where you cannot print. And that means if you're trying to print a large, flat, square object, right? I don't really have one to show, but you know, if you're trying to print something that looks like this right here, you cannot print a full-size 250 by 250 print on an X1. On this printer, you can. I think you're limited to around 220 by 250 on the X1, something like that. Maybe 230. So with the stock AMS, if you're using an AMS, you cannot use that front corner. And that's kind of, I'm not gonna say misleading, but the specs don't quite add up. You can technically get it, yeah, with a single color, but I don't think anyone's really using their X1s or P1s with single color printers, especially when the AMS exists. Like, again, you'd be kind of crazy to. Just even having the auto loading and the filament swap, auto swap over. And with the new AMS2, it now offers a filament dryer, so you can dry your filament. And I'm guessing when the AMS2 will eventually have compatibility with the A1, yes, the AMS2 will be compatible with this eventually. I think even the drying function will be a thing. That'll be cool. Kind of excited for that because I've had a pretty good experience with my AMS2 so far. I'm testing it out with a couple hundred maker chips right now. My Hedgehog makes maker chips. And so far it's been doing pretty good. Not a ton of swaps, but it's been reliable. All right, a lot of screws. Let's see, we got those two. Those two, okay. Now I think we need to install one to the front. I do believe. More screws here. This printer is probably the most involved to put together because you have to screw some screws into the base. Overall, not that big of a deal, just get them all. Don't forget them. But once this is fully assembled, man, it gets pretty rigid, and that's a great thing for 3D printers. Remember, the top priority in any printer is how rigid the printer is, how strong the frame is, how little play there is in something like the tool head and the motion system. That will overall translate to higher quality prints. Maybe not the fastest prints, but the highest quality. And at the end of the day, that's all I really care about is high quality prints. Speed is a great benefit, but if I cannot print with high quality, then I really don't want to use the printer. And that's what it comes down to. So that's why I've mainly been kind of sticking to using my Bambu printers. I do have custom printers. I do have other random printers, but the ease of use with the matching print quality is just perfect for what I need for printing off all kinds of random models to show off. I just finished printing a set of speakers, deposition sound speakers. Yeah, these guys right here. These are done on my X1 in my Hedgehog Makes Galaxy Red PLA, and they sound fantastic. But yeah, that's pretty much, I don't know. I print a lot of random stuff, and I would rather it be high quality versus saving an hour. Right? Put the build plate on. One thing to note about the build plate is that the stock way of installing it, I feel like it could probably be improved because you kind of have to fiddle with it to get it straight. And you always want to make sure that it's on straight, because I find that some people still to this day post that if you have the build plate misaligned like this, it'll rub against your screen just a little bit. So be careful with that. Okay, make sure your build plate's on. Like give it the old front and back just to make sure that it's on correctly. All right, let's see what's next. That's on there. Turn the A1 90 degree. Okay. I don't remember this step, but apparently like this. Okay. And then we have to install this. So it has a USB-C connector for the main cable. It's not necessarily USB, but they are using a USB-C connector. I've found that it's a pretty solid overall connector to use. Looks like there's also a screw in here to kind of hold it in place, and some additional connectors, standard JSTs. We have one for our X motor, I'm guessing. X motor. This one looks like it's for a camera. And then it looks like we have a slot for the Z motor, which is tied down. And that goes in there. And it has a nice little routing on the bottom. Oh, very well thought out. This printer feels more like an appliance than anything. I don't know what it is with some of these other printers, but this one specifically feels like an appliance. There we go. Yeah, make sure not to put pressure on the cable. Don't bend it. Just let it sit. I mean, any of these bed slingers, you don't want to damage the cable, but shouldn't be a concern. All right, that's all installed. The screen is ready. So we are almost ready to install the AMS. Those of you watching in chat, do you want me to install the whole stiffener and top mount on stream? Or not? I'll let you guys determine that. I should have all the parts printed. How does this work? You just slide it in? Does it screw in at all? Does. For purge wiper. Yes? Okay. Alright. I'll do it. But that just means I have to advertise my Hedgehog Makes Galaxy Red PLA even more then, because that is what I use to print it in. Alright, slide. That takes one little screw. I like how they label all the baggies. It's a little bit wasteful. I don't know. Does anyone have a use for really small baggies like this? I don't. Scraper, stiffener, so we need that. Base housing. AMS stand, I might need those. For top mount latch. There is a replacement wiper. There is a replacement cutter. AMS light stiffener seat clamp. That's what we need. Alright. Use the poop bucket for A1s. On inside, I do have one for my A1 light. Sorry, A1 mini. I would recommend it, and it's a very simple design. If anyone has any that they like, feel free to link them in the Twitch chat here. But just a little poop bucket, pretty good to have. I like how the A1 poops and purges filament versus the X1 because it's on the side. That's gonna be really nice when I eventually put this back inside my house, because I want a really easy to access poop bucket. And again, another thing that makes this printer just a little bit better for beginners because of how easy the poop management is. So I do like it. All right. So I'm at the point where I have to install the AMS, and I'm not using the stand. So typically you can use this stand. The stand's kind of kind of flimsy. I don't love it. It works, but if you look online, there are some other stands that you can use. But instead, I'm going to use the top mount. And I'll get over into that in 1 minute because we have a little side message from Haritos. So thank you to Haritos for sending over your magnificent soda. I just started to really try out the sodas, and honestly, been pretty good so far. Very good. Perfect for streaming. Guess we need these. Something really cool, like really cool, is this random part that Bambu designed. They are mini rewinders. They're not full rewinders, but they provide just enough tension on your spool to kind of have it rewind a little bit when it retracts. It's such a cool design. It doesn't work with every style of spool. It does work very well with Bambu spools, and Polymaker's cardboard spools. But some spools are too small. Some of them, the cores aren't right. I use Polymaker 99.99% of the time. I am a Polymaker first partner, but I still just use their filament because I really enjoy it and it works well for me. So these just slip on like this. So right now I have 4 Polymaker spools loaded on my A1, and I've been printing off parts for an upcoming RC car build. I'm doing a 3D set, the Rocky tanker, so it's a truck with a tank on the back, and those are all being printed on the A1. And this one I actually picked up to help increase my output for when I need to print some more parts. That's actually one thing that I'll mention. Typically, I'm using maybe 1, maybe 2 printers to print some random things, but when it's time to print things, I have every single printer up and running, and the more printers you have on hand, the better. And the more they're the same is even better, because you can take the same profile, the same slicer window, the slicer project, and send it to various printers. So I want to send this plate to that printer, that plate to that printer. It's really nice to have all the same printers. So if you have like 1 or 2 of these, it's pretty nice to have multiple to send prints to. All right, so we're actually going to start with the lower mount, and I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just kind of go through it. So you have a couple of parts you print. I should probably look up the instructions. On Maker World, if you type in A1 AMS top mount, Bambu actually has an official one right here. So that's this one. Make sure I like it, of course. But this is straight from Bambu. And they do include a brace at the bottom here that should help out with a little bit of stability, because you're mounting 4 kilograms of filament on top of here. You'd think that mounting 4 kilograms of filament on a bed slinger is a bad idea, and typically I'd say, yeah. I shunned it at first, like there's no way this is good. I can print full speed and not notice a single issue having this up here. It's miraculous how rigid this frame is to begin with. It's way stronger than it needs to be, which leads to having very good print quality. Yeah, I printed mine in Hedgehog Makes Galaxy Red PLA. These were printed on my A1, and the parts are pretty damn good. I am very impressed with how they turned out. But let's see. Is there an instruction? There is a video. So I believe it's pretty straightforward. I think you would just put this on, kind of like goes into place, kind of slides into place right there. that goes in like that. Like that. Actually, kind of like, does it snap in place? I don't know. It fits in perfect. Pretty much perfect. Then this goes in here. I don't know what these are. Does anyone know what these prints are? These little cylinders that came with it? I cannot figure that out. I don't know. Does it go in like here? Oh, those are like the feet. Okay. Those go in here and those act as feet? Is that right? Just kind of slides in like that. There we go. Goes in like that. Huh. Extra feet. Smart. I don't remember that. It's been a while. But little mini feet. Okay. Neat. Okay, perfect. And then we have two of these pieces here. And yeah, they do go on a certain way. I don't know how, but you have to stretch them over to begin with. Oop. Oh, that wasn't working. How does this go on? Like this? Should that go on like to the side? Maybe put it on first. And twist it. Yeah, there we go. Put on first, twist it, and then slide this into place. Yeah, I see it. And that kind of just holds this in place, and pretty cool solution. So this is for the stiffener. That's not what I need. Is it? There's only 6 screws here. I know I need at least 8, plus I think more. I think, does it screw into here, right? It does. That's light. I thought there would be more. Should there be more screws for that? Top mount latch, AMS stand, AMS light. Does anyone happen to know? I can watch the video. I was just trying not to. Alright, let's see. Well, let's see what screws they have you put in where. Alright, wiggle the C-clamp around. Tighten the C-clamp with 4 M3 by 10 screws. Yeah. And actually, you know what? It looks like the instructional video doesn't actually have the part where it bolts the printer. I wonder if that's a newer thing. Like this part right here is not in the video. The part where it actually attaches to the frame. That's very interesting. And I would kind of expect that these screws would work for that. Now I did have to unscrew a couple of screws. I wonder if those are supposed to be used. I don't know. I really don't know. These are too long. No, those aren't enough. It's possible that I don't have enough for that. Not 100% sure. Does it add after the recall? Okay, interesting. I wonder if do I have? No, I have the holes in mine. I don't know if I ever screwed it in. Let's see if these work right here. The one that says for stiffener. See if that screws into the frame here, because that's all I really care about. Getting this installed. If I have to use a couple of my own M3 screws, I think that's fine. This is just M3 by 10s. I got plenty of those. And they do have all of these screws available on their store as well. That's another thing. If you haven't seen how many spare parts Bambu sells, it is insane. It is actually insane. I was amazed at the very beginning on how many parts they had, and they have just completely, I don't know, like 10x'd it, 20x'd it, 30x'd it. They have significantly improved increased how many things they have in their store. So overall, I mean, I hate to say it, but Bambu has impressed me the most out of any other printer company. They're the ones giving people what they want. I don't really know how else to say it. People want a printer that works well with enough supplies to keep them printing. That is just what people want. That's what I want at the end of the day. Now, of course, I also love my custom printers, and if you want to build a custom printer, go for it. Those are a lot of fun. You know, there's plenty of designs out there, plenty of kits. But for the other high percentage of people that just want to print, this is great. This is perfect. It really is. So that's on there. I gotta put some M3x10s, but I'll do that after the fact. In fact, do I have my black ones? I think I have some black. Yeah, I do. I'll use these. These are my black screws for these are magnetic, but they're just standard M3s. So I can grab an M3x10, put that through. They might have included the screws, but let me just put these in. Or actually, yeah, let's wait. Let's wait till after and see what we have left over. They have some of these right here. They're plastic screws, so maybe that's what's supposed to be used. That kind of sounds like it would be reasonable. What are those red supports? These are the official AMS support stands. So if you have, I would just use these because it should come with enough screws for it. I'm thinking these are, but I'll have to see. They just add extra rigidity to this axis right here once you add the AMS on the top. So that's the next thing to do, is get the AMS mounted. And let's see. So you start by adding on this piece right here. So that just kind of screws in and twists like that. And then there's an additional little latch right here that goes in like that. And that gets screwed in. That's probably using for top mount latch. Yeah, so that's this one right here, the long screws. You're happy with you're so happy with your A1 combos. After 15 years of 3D printing, Bambu was a fresh of breath air, so easy to set up, and they just print without tinkering. Yeah, that's been my experience too. I love tinkering, but other days I just want to print. I literally just want to print. And the amount of times I've had to troubleshoot vorons because some random issue has come up, like, it gets old. It gets old. It's fun, but it gets old. So that's why I kind of just use these for a lot of my main printing. That being said, I'm currently printing out parts for my Stackfinity units that I have behind me there. I will be releasing those on Maker World very soon, so stay tuned. I'll have a link in the video description for those, but I'm printing out those parts on my Trident, which I installed a takeoff tool head on, which is a very, very nice all metal tool head with a tube. So it's fun to go very custom and very kind of industrial, but some days I just want to print, and these are the days. Yeah, pot end swaps on these printers very fast. I do not change my nozzles out very often. In fact, probably one of the replacement hot ends I'm looking forward to most in this printer is the Fadus hot ends that are coming out. So keep an eye out for those, because the Fadus conch hot ends are probably my overall favorite for the X1 and P1 for just a kind of a drop-in replacement. Those are very, very, very good and highly recommended. Fadus conch, that is. All right, so this goes in like this. That clips in place. So that goes in like that. Somehow, some way. This, like that. Get it perfectly centered. And that clips in place. I think it screws in. Screws in as well. Let's see what type of screw. Clamp. Oh, the screw is new. Oh, this is another design I forgot. So this is actually a mod. I'm just remembering that now. This is a user mod that apparently doesn't tilt it as much, I think. So I have it on the wrong way? I think I do. Yeah, it's on the wrong way. The little screw part should be in the front. Let's see, like this, maybe? Yeah, that's more like it. If you know Conch, go for Conch Plus. Yeah, get the Conch Plus hot end. Like I said, I just throw them on these printers and they're good. Higher flow than stock for whatever crazy reason, I don't know. It's not a CHT style either, so you can just clear out the you can clear out any clog with a little needle, and that's what I really like. A lot of the CHT style hot ends are just so hard to maintain because, well, they don't have the ability to, right? There is no ability to just quickly swap out the or unclog the hot end with a needle. So how does this work? Hold on, I gotta reference the actual design that I downloaded. This one, where's my downloads? This is the AMS Lite A1 top mount no tilt remix. I'll post that in the chat here. I'll put it in the description as well. But let's see. How does that work? I don't know what this piece is for. This little piece right here, I have no idea what that's for, to be honest. But it looks like this goes in just like the other one. Like that. Maybe it goes in there as an insert. Maybe. I don't fully know. Let's see. Maybe it goes in like this. Oh, it goes in like that. Oh yeah, just like that. Oh, and that locks it in place. A lock nut. Interesting. That kind of firmly locks it in place. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I want that because I still want the ability to twist it. But if you don't want that ability, then you can put in this piece right here. That's neat. Not bad. I won't be using that. I'll just kind of lock it in place like that. And then when I want to twist it, you can unlock it and then twist it. Or maybe, hold on, does that lock it in place? I'm so confused now. Yes, that does lock it in place. All right, so that's the, hey, I'm never going to ever tilt this thing mode. And then this is, hey, I'll probably end up tilting it eventually. I usually just leave mine a little loose, but this seems like a pretty good design. You just like untwist it to tilt it. I'll leave it like that. Perfect. It does seem stiffer than the other mount as well, which is good. Now we can actually throw on the AMS. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can put it like this, or you can put it like this. And I would probably go like this if possible. But let's see how the actual cable routes. Yeah, I would probably go like this. Having spool 1 on the front here is probably easiest. So this is their spool 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I have it the other way of mine, and it's kind of annoying because I mainly use this slot right here. So that's pretty good. And then we have for AMS light, for C stiffener. Okay, so that must be for, ooh, I don't know. I think we might use these ones for AMS stand, maybe. We'll see if that works. Order yourself an A1. Very nice. Yeah, if you can get it, get it. Get it soon. Yeah, I really don't like rear mounted spools, but I'm gonna give this one an exception because you can just rotate it, right? You can just get it rotated like that and access it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You just rotate it a little bit. Also, it's like easily accessible. I can just reach around and grab it. I don't want to see a spool that's on the back of a printer that's up against the wall that's enclosed. Like, the typical designs for rear mounted spool holders are just not acceptable. So it looks like these screws do work, the standard ones that you'd use for the stock stand. That's pretty good. I get 2 in the back as well. So this is the no tilt remix, and I do like it. The tilted one kind of brings it forward, and it's harder to install spools in the front, just mildly awkward. But I do like the no tilt version. This is a decent upgrade versus the original. If you want to lock it in place, you can do that as well. So pretty good. That's not going anywhere. And I think we're nearly done. So with this right here, it's coming off on the other side that it probably expects it to, but the cable should be long enough. So we're going to route this down and to the back. Let's see if that works. If not, we could try to run it the way that expects it to. Let's see. I think it might work out. It's very tight. You know what? No, it's not long enough with the stock. All right. Yeah, the cable isn't long enough to route the way that I want it to, so we'll have to undo that, unfortunately. That's a bummer. I thought it'd be a little bit longer. That's okay. It's not. So, full 1 is on the back. Kind of an oversight, but that's okay. The actual entry for the cable is on that side, so we have to bounce it around. What material do you print that stuff with? I do recommend PLA because PLA is a very stiff material, and because this printer isn't going to be enclosed, I do not recommend enclosing these printers. That should be fine. So yes, Galaxy Red PLA by Polymaker. The best Galaxy out there by far, no comparison. I love this color so much. I had a really fun time creating it with Polymaker, and I'm happy to give the world a Galaxy Red because it didn't really exist before that. I will be showing this off at Rocky Mountain Rep Festival coming up this year. So if you are attending in May in Loveland, Colorado, then stop by my booth and say hello. If you're watching this in the late future, well, you can still get some spools. They are definitely still available. Yeah, I will need to use a zip tie. So we have to kind of put it like this and then zip tie it to the side here, which I don't know if they provide zip ties. It's like the one thing they don't provide because, you know, why would you need zip ties for a Bambu, right? This is technically a mod, so I understand. But yeah, it's just funny, like, Bambu doesn't require you to zip tie things randomly out of the way. It's pretty funny. I would like some zip tie slots on this printer or on this mod, but that's okay. It is what it is. So you'll want to like just keep this out of the way. Maybe there's another like adapter you can print to like screw it onto there, but that's good enough for now. I've had no problems with mine whatsoever. What about Galaxy Blue? I still love Galaxy Blue. It was my original favorite. But this is my new favorite for faux show. Let's try these screws right here. It seems like a plastic screw would make sense to screw into plastic, right? So let's just give this a shot and see if this works for the C bracket. And would you look at that? It's a perfect fit. Okay, so yeah, those are the ones they expect you to use. You don't have to use your own screws. I lied. I would just expect a standard M10, not like a plastic threaded M10. Just saying. So I'll go through and screw these in, and then we're ready to start printing. Pretty much ready to go. But it needs a name. What shall I name my second A1? The first one is named Hash Slinging Slasher. I have a travel A1 that I bring around with me, A1 Mini, and that one's the Slingshot. My other A1 Mini is called Little Guy. Just a little guy. Just a little guy. So what am I going to name this one? This is going to be kind of my prototyping printer. A2. Johnny 5. Wow. Multiple Johnny 5s. Greg. Homie. Because we home. Fire Engine. Big Red. A2 Print 2. Ricky Bobby. Red 1. I don't know. You like Greg? Definitely stands out. Looks like the robot Johnny 5. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Zombie Apocalypse. Steak sauce. I don't have a steak sauce yet. I do not have a steak sauce yet, although that's got to be way overdone at this point. I'm running out of printer names. Like good printer names. That is French. I don't know what that says. Sir prints a lot. Hot sauce. It's red. It's definitely red. Use shark names. Shark names. Pretty good. Not an ender. Red pepper. Oh, hedgehog makes in French. Okay, gotcha. Interesting. I never had that translated. Hammerhead, shark bait. Shark bait. This is the issue with letting chat name stuff, is that there's a lot of great suggestions. I go with pretty much any one of them. How about this? I will not name this printer yet. I want you to leave a comment in the video description over on YouTube with a name that I should be naming this printer. The highest upvoted name, whatever it is, as long as it's safe for work, will be added. How's that sound? Yeah, we'll do it. All right. Leave a comment in the video description once this video goes live. And speaking of going live, you ready to start printing? Let's see if it works. That'd be awkward if it didn't. We need some PTFE cables too. Probably add those. I don't have the supports for the top here. I don't use them on the other one. Unleash your creativity. Start. Boop. Let's see. I think it goes like this. They already kind of pre insert the cables how they expect you to use it. So we're just going to stick all 4 of these onto here, the part where there's this little clip, because that's where we're going to clip our cable to. And you actually do need that. This black cable needs to be clipped to here, otherwise it will kind of sag and hit the print. Not the best idea or the best design, I'm not gonna lie, but it works. And then we'll install the 2 shorter cable or PTFE tubes into the front 2 slots, and then the bigger ones, the rear 2 slots. They just pop right in, no clips necessary, and we are ready to go. Simple as that. Just a sanity check, make sure that the cable's good. Looks good to me. I gotta print some of K2 Kevin's mods. Those are really good for the A1. And I'll probably get another Nomi, a Big Tree Tech Nomi, because that's a lot of fun. And I like having the always-on visual representation of the progress, because the screen is not the best on this, and it does take a minute to like actually load once you click it. So we're in English, North America. We will connect it to Wi-Fi. I do use their cloud functionality. I think it's amazing for what they offer. Let's see, my password, Hunter02. Numpad on this is pretty good. If I can type correctly. Connect, see if it works. Can you use the printer without connecting to a network? I believe you can. You just set it up in LAN mode, and I will set up on my app, but I don't really see a need for LAN mode for me, because I use the app a lot, like for most of my monitoring and just, you know, alerts when the prints are done. It's very nice to be able to do that. Plus, there we go. Scan. Binding. Done. Easy as that. And now we'll go through the process of calibration. That will take a few minutes, but well worth it. And it's moving. We are moving. What do you guys think? I mean, you can be up and running in pretty much no time with this. It's a very simple printer to set up. It does all the calibration for you, including the nozzle offset. There's no bed leveling. There's no paper test. I don't know what else I would really recommend to beginners that's not this at this point. I don't know. This thing just works. Just works. And I would recommend this over an X1 or P1 for beginners as well, because you can see what you're doing. It's a lot more open. It's just a more inviting platform. And it prints pretty damn good. But nice they put a functional USB port or Ethernet jack on their printers. Ethernet is a pretty big request. Ethernet's also not as simple as you'd expect, but having that on printers would be a great idea, just if you need to. Wi-Fi works well enough for me. Not really that big of a concern. You unlock the spool mount and turn it to see if you can just leave it on the printer like that. Yeah, you can. You can twist it. That. Both ways. Like 90 degrees, pretty much. You'd recommend this over POS with AMS? That's a kind of a question for you. I mean, at the end of the day, I would recommend a P1S with an AMS over this, just due to it being a nice little enclosed body, the ability to add multiple AMS units, especially now that they have the AMS2. It prints a little faster than this. But honestly, I mean, this will do pretty much everything a P1S will do besides higher temp printing. right? You know nothing about 3D printing. Can you do multiple colors in a job? If so, how many colors? That is a great question. So this is a 4-color printer with the AMS light. So you can print things like this right here. This is a Gazaladra model. So this is a, I don't know how many colors this is, 4-color print, I think. So that is an all-in-one 4-color print. And I've printed many colorful things like this Twisty Prints alligator. This was actually printed on my P1S, but the point still stands. You can print 4 colors like that. It's perfect for a little mini flexies, like this little mini whale shark I have here. This is a free model on Maker World. Gotta zoom in for that one. Little itsy bitsy mini multicolor whale shark, but there's a ton of little chibis and little keychains. Those are probably one of the most popular things to 3D print because of how small they are. Of course, there's other models like any of the Fix 'em Dude vehicles. Those can be printed in multicolor. I have my own ZH1 that can be printed in multicolor. And honestly, I mean, multicolor printing really adds a ton of just pizzazz to the prints. If you're gonna print something for yourself and you have an option of printing in single color or multicolor, I'd go multicolor all day, every day. Right? It's just a lot of fun. It's fun. Single color printing, still perfectly fine. There's a ton of models that look great in single color prints, especially if you use like a not translucent, but a gradient filament that can really help out. Or a fancy filament like a Polymaker Starlight or Galaxy, such as my Hedgehog Makes Galaxy Red PLA. The cow, of course. The cow. So this is the cow, designed by my kid. It was a drawing reimagined into a 3D print, right? Double-sided 3D print. Prints face down. And pretty cool, huh? That was printed on my A1, actually. Double-sided, right? So coasters and little things like that print perfectly on something like that. So if you want to download this model, it is available on my Maker World. I would suggest it. It'll make my kid very happy to see some more pictures of that. But also you can print things like maker chips. Here is a maker chip that I designed for Fadus. And this is fully printable on a printer like this with a QR code. This one was printed on my X1 Carbon, but the point still stands. You can print something like this on an A1, no problem. This was printed on a starry sheet or like a fancy sheet as well. Looks a little iridescent. Of course, excuse me, I have my own maker chip. Hedgehog Makes Maker Chip in a maker chip clicker by James the Printer. But that's another multicolor print that I did on my X1, but you know, again, the point still stands. Need one of those fancy plates. They're pretty cool. I do recommend you will probably want to use Vision Miner nanopolymer. This does not affect the actual effect of the plate, like the starry or whatever. It just helps with adhesion and removal. That's something that I would strongly recommend, is picking up some nano for it. Looking forward to the Cyber Brick kits to come out. Oh my god, me too. Yeah, I pre-ordered one, and I was a part of the beta, although I didn't make a design for the release. I'm definitely looking forward to printing other people's designs for sure. Tell you about the plate for that fancy chip. Well, unfortunately, it's printing right now, but I do have. If you do bang plates in chat, I think that comes up. But I get them off of Amazon now. I don't have any handy to show you. But I'll have a link down in the video description where you can buy those plates. I've had very good luck with the Jupine plates overall, and there's so many options nowadays. It is crazy, crazy. Oh yeah, that commands for the Ember Prototypes plate, which is good as well. I like my custom Ember Prototypes plate. That's actually what I printed off these side pieces on. So this has my little Hedgehog Makes logo, and you can't really see, but it's engraved, embossed in the side of these, and it came out pretty cool because you can kind of see it on here. Just another little thing to add some customizable flair. You know, one of these days I'm gonna make a video with all of these little add-ons and extras. If you guys want a video going over all of my top add-ons, mods, purchases that I get for my Bambu printers, let me know. I'll have to make a video of them because there's just so many to add in. Hot ends, build plates, little mini accessories, mods. It's just crazy how many things there can be. Yes, please. All right, I'll add that to my list. But in the meantime, stop by my live stream over at twitch.tv/zombiehedgehog, where you can ask any question you want live on days where I'm not doing recordings like this. And while you're down in the description getting that link, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more, and leave a comment. Once again, what should I name this printer? The top upvoted comment or liked comment will get the name. Interesting. They updated their calibration, what you call it, display, like info. Looks cool now. But just doing the standard vibration compensation, getting that done, and we're almost ready to print. Oh boy, it's time to add this into our slicer. All right. So obviously we are going to print with my filament to test it out, and I already have a full dedicated profile for this too. I feel like one of those camera people who's like, hey, download my Lightroom presets. You know those guys. I'm telling you to use my zombie tuned print profile because honestly, it works pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Do you like to change / upgrade your X1C hot end? I do not use the stock Bambu hot ends generally. By default, I'll swap them out to a Fadis Conch hot end. That's kind of my generic go-to favorite. I don't know if I have any handy. No, not handy. But the Fadis Conch Plus hot end, pretty good. I'm trying out the Micro Swiss hot end in that P1S, and that works out pretty good. And Slice just sent over their Mako hot end, and I'm running that on my X1 Carbon, and that's what did these some of these maker chips. So honestly, I think the easy to swap nozzles is a really good idea if you swap out your nozzles a lot. Otherwise, I just stick with something like the Fadis Conch to save a little bit of money, because it just works. You know, get the 0.4, that'll last you like forever. All right. So in the slicer right here, here's Bambu Studio. This is the newer version of Bambu Studio that works with the newer printers. Now what I usually do is I'll start with one filament, then I'll add, I got a bunch of one here, but this generic PLA A1 zombie tune, I pair that with my my 0.2 standard A1 zombie tune profile, and that's what I just use for most of my stock prints. So we can add a primitive, we can print a model. What do you guys want me to print today? Do you want to do a Stackfinity bin? We'll do that. Let's do a large bin. Here, let's do a functional print. Pezlis likes my silk profile. That's a secret one for extra special patrons. Do the cow. I want to do something quick we can probably get printed on stream. So with this model, I know I have to support the front lip right here, the supports. I don't know if I have, yeah, I'd like to do normal supports for this model. So this is my bin for the Screwfinity units. It takes an hour to print. That's quite the long thread. Oh well, we can still print it. It's fine. It'll get you the first layer adhesion. Let's see if it actually works out of the box without cleaning the build plate. And they'll give us supports to test. Yeah, there we go. Functional. But first, we do need to load filament. And loading filament is... Oh, it's still doing... Oh my god, it's doing up to 500 hertz. Interesting. It does 10 to 500 hertz. That's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Let's grab a spool of Hedgehog Makes Galaxy Red. And we'll wait for this to finish, but loading filament on this printer is very simple. Very, very simple. We just gotta wait. Just one more minute. Not bad. I can put this away. I don't need this anymore. So if you want to print just without the AMS, you can. And I don't know. Yeah, you'd have to like use this. Excuse me. I don't know if there's a good way of doing just a regular spool with this. For example, if you're printing TPU, what I typically do, this is my little Life Pro tip. So when you're printing TPU, you can't run it through the AMS Lite, but you can run out of a poly dryer box. So this is Polymaker's dry box / filament drying system. And what you want to do is put your filament in here, take the Bowden tube that comes with the printer, stick it in like this, and then you pop out one of these tubes and shove it in there. You can also get a Y splitter and split one of these tubes if you print a lot of TPU and put that like that. So that way you have full dry through the PTFE into here. You keep your TPU dry as you're printing, and you can actively dry it as well. So I love the poly dryer boxes for that. All my TPU printing, any type of carbon fiber printing where you need to have an actively dried or at least dry spool of filament, strongly recommend that. How often should you calibrate, or what would cause you to recalibrate? The second something stops working, pretty much. I do not do any like random calibrations like, oh, I'm feeling I should calibrate. No, I don't bother calibrating unless you change your hot end. I would do it after you change your hot end. The build plate, not necessary. Any major change to the printer or any major issue with the printer, pretty much. AMS2 is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm really, really excited for that. If you move the printer, I don't even think that's necessary. Maybe if you move it from a really solid table to a really wiggly table, I guess you can run it. Just run the vibration compensation. It does a little bit of a test before you print, but honestly, I don't even think that'll make that big of a difference. Really, I really don't think so. Because this printer is generally not affected by the surface it prints on. Because the whole printer is so rigid, it just seems to work on any surface, including being suspended in the air. The hot end, I generally use Fadis Conch hot ends. Generally. Let me see if I have one in here. I don't. I use them all. Those are my favorite, just overall. But I've used pretty much all the replacement hot ends at this point, as much as I can think of. I've used the E3D Obsidian, the Micro Swiss, Flowtastic. I don't remember what it's called, but the Micro Swiss one. And then the Slice Mako hot end. They're all pretty good. I've also used the stock hot ends. They're just okay. They're very low flow. And that's the interesting thing about a Bambu, is that it's not a super high flow printer. The printer just happens to move very fast. It doesn't print fast, it just moves fast. Come on, finish, please. I want to get this print going, at least started. We gotta see if it prints, right? But this whole process, oh, it has to do the bed leveling too. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. It takes a while, but it is 1000% worth it. It's not gonna take 14 minutes for the bed leveling. Why is it saying that? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But instead of spending hours and hours calibrating a new printer, having it do everything by itself is amazing. Hoping you can get 5-color prints with A1. That I'm not particularly sure about. Maybe they will expand and allow users to use multiple AMSs. I'm not particularly confident that they'll do that though. It'll only happen if you can add like 2 AMSs. Oh, really? 2 AMSs, or like you said, an AMS high temp, because there's 4 inlets for PTFE tubes. So hypothetically, you could add 4 AMSs if they support it, but I'm not sure if they will. That'll be option 8 too. I don't know. Do you think they're going to release a new A1? That's one thing about Bambu. They have a very, very, very small selection of printers compared to some of the competitors that feel the need to release a new printer every 5 days. Oh, okay. It does like a super, 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 super detailed bed mesh. I don't recall ever doing that on one of these printers. Okay. Yeah, whatever it needs to do. Maybe an enclosed A1? I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, personally, there is very little that I'd want extra from this printer. Like, this pretty much checks every single box on the non-enclosed printer checklist, right? I would love to see more colors. Sometimes I want to do a 5-color print, and I can't because this only does 4 colors. And you can kind of hack it just like the standard AMS, where let's say you're printing a figure and the boots are 1 color and the hair is another color. Once you're done printing the boots, you can take out that filament and then put in the hair color and then paint the boots and the hair the same color. Does that make any sense? You can do stuff like that. I've done that before. What is this bed mesh? It's intense. It's probably 20 by 20. 5 would be perfect. I think 5 is a very good number. I don't even think I printed 6 colors on the cell changer yet. I just do 5, right? Like this right here, this is a 5-color print. And honestly, I can't really see myself needing too much more than 5. This is Wexter's chieftain skull thing. This is painted by Waldo, and this was only done in 5 colors. Just a couple of gradient, 1 gradient and 1 dual color. So pretty cool model. But yeah, this is only 5. Like I can't even find a 6-color model that I'd want to use. If anything, it would come when I'm painting a model personally. Like I have a model and I want to paint it and I want to say, okay, that can go there, that can go there, and I can choose as many colors as I want. In that case, usually like 5 to 6 is a good value. 6 though, 6 is like, after 6, I rarely have a single print that has more than 6 colors. At that point, having extra slots would be more or less just having filaments to choose from. You know, filaments available that are preloaded. All right, 9 minutes until this thing finishes its bed mesh. Any other questions for the live viewers? It's quiet. Like, this thing is quiet compared to even the X1P1 or even printers like the some of the CPAP driven printers. Oh, I think I'm out of filament. I'm out of filament. Okay. Hey, this gets me a perfect example of a mod that I've done. So one of the various things that I'll probably make a video on is this. You see this? This is called a spool ball. This is my invention here, I think, probably. Spool ball. This is a 2-inch ball bearing. Whoa, look at that. You can see everything. 2-inch ball bearing that I buy. And when my spools get low, like, I don't know, 300 grams or less, I throw it in. And then adds 500 grams to the spool and helps with retractions and feeding on the regular AMS. It is so incredibly useful. It's so easy to use that I will strongly recommend it. I'll have a link to my spool balls in the description as well. All the things. And I don't need this anymore, so let's just break it apart. I love cardboard spools because I can just rip off the cardboard. I usually smash the core like that, flatten it, and look at that, ready to go in recycling. Plastic spools, can't do that. Sure, the Bambu Master spools are good if you're reusing them, but it's still nice to be able to just throw away the spool if you don't need to, or recycle it. That is 6 balls for 30. Yeah, it's a good price. Is this a very high-end printer? This printer feels extremely what's the word for it? What I used before? Appliance level. It feels appliance level. So I'm not going to call it high-end, but I will call it essentially appliance. Does that make any sense? Like, you expect it to be at a certain level. It's mid. Yeah, it's not like ultra high tier, but it's definitely not cheap. It doesn't feel cheesy. Everything on here feels high end, right? For the price, especially. So, while this thing is doing the rest of its bed mesh, I have to find filament. Shoot, what was that? Was that Galaxy Black? Yeah, these are my maker chips, so that's Galaxy Black. Ooh, do I have any more Galaxy Black out here? I might not. Did I restock on it? Uh-oh. I might not have Galaxy Black, guys. Might be in danger. I have a lot of metallic black. Shoot. Did I not get any more metallic or Galaxy Black PLA? Oh, maybe there's some up on the shelf. No. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, I'll swap to this for now. I like to have all my maker chips consistent, but metallic is reasonably close. Reasonably. Do you have any white black? That's inside the house. It's a Polar's filament. Oh, do I have any Galaxy Black? Oh, what is this? I got a random DAC right here that I have to put away still. That is Galaxy Black. We're saved. Yay. I knew I had another one. I used to use Galaxy Black as my main black. Like, if I wanted a black, I just grab Galaxy because it's cool. Nowadays, it's actually metallic black. I guess I can still open it, but metallic black is pretty good. Sometimes I forget I have just stacks of filament. It's ready to put away. I just forget about it. Oops, my bad. Yes, you can get this printer with my exclusive 0% promo code. Just use code Zombie Hedgehog at checkout. Here. All right. Ooh, something cool that I printed. I'll show the world this. This is a identity disc from Tron Legacy. I guess, I don't know, is this a Legacy or is it a regular Tron? Let me know. But this was available on Maker World, I believe. And this came out really cool. This is printed in, of course, Hedgehog Makes Galaxy Red PLA. And I think this was metallic black. Maybe it was, I think it's metallic black, but pretty cool. I have another one too in the neon orange from Polar Maker. Cool prints. Sometimes you see a model and like, gotta have it. Gotta have it. Gotta do. You gotta do. We almost done here? Oh my god. I don't know what it's doing, but it's almost, hopefully almost done. So, I guess I can show the main project that I'm working on. This is a Bambu A1 project. This is just the front of it, but this is, of course, my 3D sets RC car, and everything's being printed right on the A1 that's down there. And so far, it's been very good. Reliable printing, high quality, just works. The TPU tires, I did cheat. These are on my A1 Mini. I use my travel A1 Mini for TPU, just because I have to manually load it anyway, and it's easier to just grab and set up the prints on. Oh, are we almost done? It's homing. Calibration completed. Yay. You're all set. Thank you. All right. Now I can hit print plate, and let's see. Yep, my new printer is showing up here, and we don't have any filament. Uh-oh, gotta change that. So all I gotta do to load filament on this printer is take your spool, shove it in, and stick the filament into the little hole here. Sometimes you gotta play around with you press it a little, and then that's it. Done. Filament's loaded. That's it. Literally it. The printer will do the rest. You don't do anything. I do not want to do a firmware update right now. I do not want to lube my rails yet. Calm down, printer. All right. I just have to refresh it because I just loaded filament, and now I should be able to select A3. There we go. I will not be doing a bed mesh for this print. I typically recommend doing a bed mesh regardless, but for this, we don't need to. Just use AMS. And let's see if it works. You guys think this will work without needing to do anything? No random 3D printed fixes, no random firmware glitches, it'll just work? What do you guys think? I can zoom in on the close-up cam for you. Whoop. Maybe. There we go. That's fine. You'll do all the things that accomplishes stuff. That's the goal. The only question I actually have is, will the bed work without even being cleaned? Usually they do. They're usually fine. And usually the focus works. There, we'll just lock it there. So it's currently heating up to start purging filament. So it's gonna grab a little bit of filament. It's gonna use the AMS to push the filament into the hot end. It's really kind of miraculous how well it worked. Right now, there we go, it's feeding it. It's gonna load into the hot end pretty soon. No nanopolymer. I will definitely put some nano on here after, but we should probably just see if it works out of the box. I always recommend nano, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if it works. It should. I just don't trust that the plates were handled 100% correct. That's the mild concern, is that in the factory, maybe someone touched it with their hands. That would leave grease on there. And now it's doing a little bit of a calibration, pre-calibration. So I'll probably end this video in a few minutes here once this thing starts to print, but I at least wanted to have a print going, of course. So yeah, what are your questions about the A1? I want to hear what your thoughts are, if this is your favorite printer. Actually, if this is not your favorite printer, let me know why. What other printers would you rather have versus the A1 if you're looking for something around the same price range? The Prusa Mark IV, Mark 4S is definitely a competitor, but not when it comes to multicolor. And there are, of course, other entry-level printers like the Solvol SP06 Ace that I've tested. That's a pretty good printer. I like that one. It's just not multicolor. And in today's society, I think it's definitely worth having multicolor. I really like it. And would you look at that? Daddy Wazzy is gifting a mug in my Twitch chat. So for those of you watching live, exclamation point enter to try to win that. If you're on YouTube, well, you got to catch these live if you want to win. So thank you, Daddy Wazzy, for that. I think we're good to go now. Are we good? Is it going to start priming? It's a great mug. Yes, it actually, if you're watching on YouTube, you can buy my mug. I have a link to my Fourth Wall store in the description. The Hedgehog makes mugs are great. I really like the water bottles. The Hedgehog makes Camelback water bottles. I use these all the time. All right, and we're off. So the nice thing about this printer is it only puts a little bit of a prime right in the front there, and then it's off to the races. Let's see if it can do auto bed leveling, Z offset without any need for adjusting. It looks perfect. It looks absolutely phenomenal and perfect. Of course it does. So, yeah. Definitely happy to have another one of these in the fleet. I can always use another Bambu printer. I was considering, you know, should I get a P1S or an A1? And I went with the A1 because I want to bring this inside and put this in my office. This is quite a bit quieter than the P1S I used to have in there. I brought that outside here. This is a little bit more calm. The fans are quieter, everything's just quieter, the motion's quieter. So this is my recommended printer for like an office environment. Congratulations, Stephen Poole, for the mug win. And thank you to Daddy Wazzy for doing the giveaway over here on Twitch. All right, let's get to layer 2. Let's do it. Do I have a Century Carbon in order? I had one. It got lost in shipping, and then they canceled it. So maybe I'll get one in the future. Maybe not. I'm not sure. We'll see how well their multicolor works. MadCat USA, thank you for the 600 bits. I appreciate it. There we go. There's that second layer. And my profile does slow down for the overhangs. I think that all good profiles should. But it's very fast for the inside. Oh, thank you, Jedi Spidey, for the 100 bits as well. Appreciate it. Yeah, all right, this is gonna print. It's literally just gonna print until the print is done. So I'll share this with you guys on social media, my Discord. But yeah, I think we can pretty much call it there. It's working. It's a printer. I don't know. I am just so used to just getting Bambu printers and then setting them up and having them work. There's no weirdness, no finickiness. I don't know. It just works. It's exactly what I was expecting. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you made it this far, leave a comment saying, hey, I made it to the end of the video. And or again, I need a name for this. Leave a suggestion for a name. Otherwise than that, check out some of my other unboxing videos. Check out my live streams. Check out all the links in the video description. Otherwise than that, have a great night, good morning, good evening, and goodbye.